What's going on, everyone? It's your boy Kilo here, and we got some Week 2 NFL predictions for you today. Now, it should be a good slate of games for this coming week, and let's get right into it. So the first game up, we have the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, the Chiefs do get Kelsey back, so that will be a great plus to their offense, because we all saw that their receiving options are just terrible. I don't know what Kadarius Toney was doing. I think he had the worst PFF grade for a receiver in like history or something in the last game. So their receivers just not good. But Kelsey should be a big boost to this offense. Meanwhile, if we look at Jacksonville, Calvin Ridley was just going absolutely insane last week. He is their number one receiver, and there's reports saying that they're going to try to get Christian Kirk involved in this game more. So this is going to be a shootout. I think this is going to be a high-scoring game. However, the Chiefs have Patrick Mahomes. I don't think Pat is going to start the season off 0-2, especially with his number one weapon, Travis Kelce, back. So I think the Chiefs will come out away with the win in this game, as they are 3.5-point favorites over the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now moving on to the next game, we have the Baltimore Ravens versus the Cincinnati Bengals. The Cincinnati Bengals were terrible. They might have been one of the worst teams last week, other than maybe the New York Giants. Joe Burrow couldn't do nothing. T. Higgins, I have him in fantasy. He gave me a big old donut on 8 targets, which is crazy. He couldn't get one catch on 8 targets. However, they were playing the Browns, a division rival, and it was a rainy game. So hopefully it was because of the rain that the Bengals were so bad. But even then, this is still going to be a tough matchup with the Baltimore Ravens, especially with Lamar Jackson as their quarterback. And Zay Flowers was looking amazing in his rookie debut. And the Baltimore Ravens defense is also a really solid defense, though I think Marlon Humphrey might be hurt. He might not be playing, so that is something to look out for. If Marlon Humphrey does not play, I think that would be a big blow to the Ravens secondary. However, I think the Bengals will come out with the win. I think, similar to Patrick Mahomes, I don't think Joe Burrow is going to come out and put 2 stinkers back-to-back weeks. I think T. Higgins is going to improve. Jamar Chase, I think the whole offense is going to improve in the second game. And the Bengals are 3.5-point favorites over the Baltimore Ravens, so I think they'll come out with a win. Next, we have the Las Vegas Raiders versus the Buffalo Bills. Now, the Bills are 8.5-point favorites. I think this game is going to be closer than a lot of people think. That might sound crazy. I think Josh Allen's looking a little rusty. I don't think he's going to be as bad as he was against the Jets. And to be fair to him, the Jets do have an amazing defense with Sauce Gardner, DJ Reed, and their whole defensive line over there. But man, even when Aaron Rodgers went down, like the Buffalo Bills were struggling against the Jets. And you can say he made a couple forced throws. He threw 3 picks to Jordan Whitehead. I don't think this Bills team is going to really get into the rhythm of things until later on in the season. So I think this will be a closer game than the 8.5-point spread wants us to believe. However, I do think the Buffalo Bills will still come out with the win. I think Josh Allen will improve. I think he'll still turn the ball over a little bit, but I think he'll be better than he was against the Jets. You know, we'd have Stephon Diggs. He's a solid receiver, one for them. I think the run game will improve too. James Cook looked nice when they actually gave him the ball. I don't know why they're adamant about not giving him the ball the whole time, but it is what it is. So I do think that the Buffalo Bills will come out with the win in this game. Also, we're hearing that Jacoby Myers might not be playing for the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, they do have Devontae Adams, but it helps when you have a secondary receiver who can also get open, because it seems like they don't want to incorporate Hunter Renfrow into this offense. And the Bills also have a talented enough defense to where they will be able to stop those guys. So I think the Buffalo Bills do come out with the win, but I don't think it's an 8.5-point spread like the line tells us. Next, we have the Los Angeles Chargers against the Tennessee Titans. The Chargers are 2.5-point favorites. They were in an amazing shootout last week against the Miami Dolphins, which they lost. I think their defense is a little suspect. To be fair, the Dolphins did have Tyreek Hill, and he was just cooking J.C. Jackson all game long. But I think the Chargers are a little bit fraudulent. It was week 1. It's only one game in the season. You know, they do have Justin Herbert. However, Austin Eckler might not play. I think Austin Eckler would be a big blow to this offense. You know, they have Josh Kelly. He put up a solid performance last week too, but there's something about the Chargers. They just can't get it done. So even though they're 2.5-point favorites, I wouldn't be shocked if the Tennessee Titans won. I would, if you told me the Tennessee Titans beat the Los Angeles Chargers this weekend, I would not be shocked. Which is why I'm picking them to win, because I think Derrick Henry is going to have a field day against that defense. DeAndre Hopkins is questionable, so we don't know if he's going to play or not. But it seems like he's going to play this game, and it hasn't been anything too crazy. So yeah, I just think if Eckler doesn't play, the Chargers' offense is a little fraudulent at times. Their defense is also really suspect at times. I think the Tennessee Titans actually pull away with the win, and they cover the 2.5-point spread. So next up, we have the Indianapolis Colts against the Houston Texans. The Colts are 1-point favorites in this game, and I think they win. Anthony Richardson proved a lot of people wrong. He can play. The kid can play. Now, they don't have Jonathan Taylor. I don't know what they're going to do with that running back situation. Deion Jackson is terrible at football. Zach Moss is supposedly coming back this week, so maybe he'll be the answer to them on offense. The real reason why I think the Indianapolis Colts will beat the Houston Texans, and I just think the Colts defense is not going to give CJ Stroud anything. Now, obviously, they're not as good as the Baltimore Ravens defense. A couple years ago, you could have made the argument, but I don't think they're going to be as good as the Baltimore Ravens defense that the Texans played last week. But CJ Stroud is a rookie. They couldn't really get the run game going. I'm just not all in on the Houston Texans as of right now. Now, Will Anderson was a bright spot for that team as he played pretty solid against the Ravens, but I think the Colts will be able to pull out this game. Next, we have the Miami Dolphins against the New England Patriots. Now, everyone's going to look at what the Dolphins did last week. Especially with Tyreek Hill. He went for like 200 plus receiving yards. Absolutely amazing. He was just cooking the Chargers defense all day. JC Jackson had no chance. I don't know why they left JC Jackson on the island with Tyreek Hill all game. He was just burning him the entire game. It was terrible. Good Lord. However, I think this is a trap game for the Dolphins. They're 3-point favorites. Bill Belichick will play defense. He's not going to let Tyreek Hill just run free. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'd assume Bill Belichick is not going to let Tyreek Hill just run free and do whatever the hell he wants like the Chargers did. And the Patriots' offense looked really good against the Eagles. Miami's defense, they're banged up. There's no Jalen Ramsey. They just don't. Their defense is not really that intimidating. The Patriots' offense looked phenomenal last week, even though they lost to the Eagles. I think the Patriots are going to play good defense. They're going to have solid offense against the Miami Dolphins, not so great defense. And I think Bill's going to find a way to win. I think this is a trap game for the Dolphins. They're coming off a shootout against the Chargers. Tyreek Hill went crazy. Everyone's talking about it. I think this is a trap game for them. I think they come back down to earth, and they lose to the Patriots. Next, we have the Cleveland Browns against the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Browns are 2.5-point favorites. The Pittsburgh Steelers looked awful. They couldn't get anything going against the 49ers. Najee Harris looks like he doesn't belong in the NFL as a running back. I don't know what happened to him. Deontay Johnson is hurt, so they lost one of their top receivers. George Pickens, he's good. He's a good deep ball target, but the Steelers don't throw the ball deep to him. Their offense is just stagnant and just terrible. I don't like TJ Watt in that defense is a saving grace, but even then, Cam Hayward's hurt, so he's not going to be playing in this game. So you just lost one of your best defensive linemen. So it's really just TJ Watt over there. I think the Browns win this game. I think they cover the spread too. I don't think the Steelers get blown out, but I don't think this game is particularly close. I think Nick Chubb is going to have a nice day against that defense. I think Deshaun Watson should have a bounce back game because they're playing the Bengals in the rain, which is why that game was a bit sloppy. But yeah, I just don't know what's good with the Steelers. Their offense just looks terrible right now. Hopefully they bounce back. Maybe Pickens steps up. Maybe Najee Harris gets something going or Allen Robinson steps up for them. But as of right now, it's just TJ Watt. TJ Watt is the only guy over there doing anything. And then Patrick Peterson was talking all that crap, and he got cooked by Brandon Ayuk. He's saying he's gonna catch a pick on Brock Purdy, and Brock Purdy's targeting him for touchdowns. Like, they have a lot of problems over there. Their linebackers are slow. They can't stop the run to the outside. Nick Chubb is you could argue Nick Chubb is the best pure running back in the NFL. And so I just think the Steelers are gonna have a long day with the Browns. Like it's literally just TJ Watt and Minka. Kenny Pickett looked like he somehow regressed. I don't know how that happened. They looked amazing in the preseason, and then they get to week 1. To be fair, it was against the 49ers, who are arguably Super Bowl bound. You could argue the number 1 team in the NFL. But still, they just looked like they didn't know what they were doing out there. And so I think the Browns get this one. Next, we have the New York Jets against the Dallas Cowboys. I'm not going to spend too much time. We all know what happened. Aaron Rodgers is out for the season with a torn Achilles. A major blow. This team would have been one of the top teams in the NFL, but without Aaron Rodgers and Zach Wilson at quarterback, I just think they come down to earth. I think they're still a solid team, but I don't think they're Super Bowl contenders as people had hoped they would be without Rodgers. They do have a good defense, so I don't think the Cowboys are just going to stampede them like they did the Giants. because they still have everyone back there on defense. We know with Sauce Gardner and all them boys. So I think it'll be a closer game than people expect, but I think the Cowboys cruise to win. Next, we have the Washington Redskins against the Denver Broncos. Now, the Broncos are 3.5-point favorites. The Washington Redskins... Oh, I said the Redskins. Excuse me. The Washington football team were actually struggling a bit against the Arizona Cardinals. It was a bit concerning. Sam Howell did not look as good as people were projecting him to be. His stats were all right, but they were struggling against the Arizona Cardinals. I don't know, man. I just think the Denver Broncos about to win. I think Russ shows up. I don't know if Jerry Jeudy's going to play or not, but I think, also Javonte Williams was on a snap count in week 1, so I think he should get his snaps increased and take some of the work away from Samaje Perine. I think this is a low-scoring game, but I think the Broncos come out with the win. Now, the Eagles beat the Minnesota Vikings yesterday, Thursday night. That was a sloppy game. I don't know what the hell was going on. Jalen Hurts looked like he didn't know how to play quarterback for like the first quarter, and the Vikings were just fumbling the ball all game. I think they had like 4 fumbles. It was a really sloppy game, but the Eagles came out the dub, but we're not here to talk about that. They won. Game over. Next, the Chicago Bears at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I don't like the Bucs as a Panthers fan. I hope they lose. However, they're 2.5-point favorites against the Chicago Bears. The Bears' offense looks the same. Chase Claypool, he doesn't even care about football anymore. Roschon Johnson was a nice little spot in their team, but he got most of his work in garbage time. I just think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are too much for them. I like Justin Fields. I hope he does good in the NFL. I wanted him to come to the Panthers. But this team I don't know. They need a lot of help. I think the Bucs are just too talented of a team, and they'll just overpower them, even though they have Baker Mayfield at quarterback. Next, we have the Green Bay Packers against the Atlanta Falcons. Packers are 1.5-point favorites in this game. No Christian Watson. Romeo Doubs was solid. They relied heavily on Aaron Jones to do most of the work. Solid defense, too, over in Green Bay. They always have a solid defense. Solid offensive line. Jordan Love looks like he's a competent quarterback. We don't know if he's Rodgers' true replacement, but he looks competent. The Atlanta Falcons, solid defense. Terrible quarterback play. Solid running back. Bijan Robinson, Tyler Algier. They beat my Panthers. Running all over them. Doing whatever they want. I'm going to take the Packers to win. And this is not me just being a Panthers fan. I just think the Falcons just can't get by on just running the ball all game. You got to throw the ball. They can't throw the ball. Desmond Ridder is just not a good quarterback. Also, their offensive line was just really bad at run blocking. The Panthers were just smothered. Desmond Ridder had no time to throw in that game. No time to throw. And he's also just not a good quarterback. So I think the Packers win this game. I think the Falcons keep it close. But I just don't think they have enough offensive firepower to truly beat the Packers. Next, we have the Seattle Seahawks against the Detroit Lions. I believe the Seahawks has lost their left tackle, which is going to be a major blow as the Rams were just beating the hell out of them. I don't know what that was about. Geno's looking like he's not the Geno of last year. People were hyping up Geno. He said something about writing a check, never wrote back or whatever he said. I don't know, I probably butchered that, whatever Geno said. He's not looking like he's the same Geno as last year, which is very unfortunate because they have guys like DK, Tyler Lockett, and Jackson Smith and Jigba. They have the weapons, Ken Walker, Zach Charbonnet. They have weapons, but Geno just doesn't look like he's Geno of last year. And you lose your starting left tackle, and you're away. Well, not extended by, but they had a mini bye, as it says here. I'd like the Lions to beat them. I just think the Lions are too much. They have a good defense, Tariq Woolen. I think Bobby Wagner's back there too. Jamal Adams I believe he's still hurt. I think the Lions take the win. I don't know what's going on with the Seahawks. Maybe Geno proves me wrong. Maybe they're not frauds, but I like for the Lions to get this win. Start season 2-0. Next game, I'm going to keep this short. Niners, Rams. Niners look like the best team in the NFL. Probably the favorites to win the Super Bowl. The Niners are going to win. Puka. Puka was a bright spot for the Rams offense who did not have Cooper Kupp, but he's dealing with an oblique injury, and we don't even know if he's going to play. So to lose your number one receiver when you already lost your true number one receiver is not going to be good for the offense. And they just have no firepower. I just don't think the Rams have enough firepower to compete with the 49ers, and I think the 49ers offense has too much firepower for the Rams defense. Brandon Ayuk went off last week, and he's not even their only guy. They still have Christian McCaffrey who can go off. They still have Deebo Samuel who can go off. They still have George Kittle who can go off. They primarily use him as a blocker now, but still, George Kittle used to be that guy back in the day. It wouldn't be shocking me if he just had a big game for them. Whereas the Rams, their number one guy, Puka, he might not play. So now you're relying on Tutu Atwell, Tyler Higbee, and their run game is non-existent. Everyone thinks Cam Akers is finally going to pop off. Cam Akers just looks like he can't play running back. Kyron Williams is taking carries from Cam Akers and whatnot. I just don't like this game. 49. I think the 49ers cruise to an easy win against the Rams, as I think they are the highest line this week. I think they're 8.5-point favorites. I like them to beat the brakes off the Rams and cover that line. Next, we have the New York Giants against the Arizona Cardinals. I like this as a bounce back game for the New York Giants. The Cardinals are tanking. They want Caleb. They put up a fight last week. To be fair, it was the Washington football team, but they put up a fight. Even though I like the Giants to bounce back. 40-0 loss to the Cowboys. I don't think you're gonna let that slide. I think Saquon, Daniel Jones, and all them boys, I think they're going to bounce back and get back in the win column. And it should be an easy win against the Arizona Cardinals. Like I said, they're a tank job. They want that number one pick. They want to get rid of Kyler. Giants are 4.5 points favorite. Giants are 4-point favorites. I like them to win. Lastly, Saints at Panthers. I'm a Panthers fan. I'm going to take my guys to win. Am I biased? Absolutely. The Saints are 3-point favorites. But like I said, I'm a Panthers fan. I am never picking the Saints to beat the Panthers. I'm sorry. As long as I'm alive, I will never pick the New Orleans Saints to beat the Carolina Panthers ever. I will always believe that my guys will win. But now, keeping it serious, I do think the Panthers have a good shot at winning this game. I think, Bryce Young, he made some mistakes as a rookie quarterback, but he showed promise. That's all you can ask for. Our receivers get no separation. I don't know what the hell we're going to do about that. DJ Chark might play, so I think DJ Chark will be a little bit of a help to our deep game. We had a solid run game last week. We were running the ball. Miles Sanders, Chuba Hubbard, nice little tandem back there. Defense looked solid the first 3 quarters, but then our offense hurts our defense. Our defense starts off the game good, and then our offense just becomes stagnant and can't move the ball. And we're just getting 3 and outs, and so our defense gets tired, and that allows the other team to start scoring on us. Hopefully our offense can get something going early so our defense isn't on the field all damn game like they were against the Falcons. But we'll see. The Saints have a nice little squad over there. They always have a good defense. Marshawn Lattimore, Cam Jordan, all those boys. They always have a nice little defense over in New Orleans. But I'm taking my guys to win. Derek Carr, he looks solid. I can't lie. He looks solid. Mike Thomas looked solid as well. Chris Olave, Ohio State guy. He's a dog. Rashid Shaheed, he was solid for them. They didn't really have a run game. Jamal Williams is the primary back. Kamara suspended, and I think Kendrick Miller is still hurt. So their run game's not the best right now, but I don't care. I'm a Panthers fan. I'm taking my guys to win all day. So these are my Week 2 NFL predictions. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. What do you agree with? What do you disagree with? Who's your favorite team? Who are you rooting for? Let me know. I appreciate y'all rocking with me. It's been your boy Kilo. Let's enjoy some football this week, guys. See you later.